Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, we will start with the basic. What is introduction to REST APIs? What are HTTP methods? What are status codes? So generally in the terminology of the backend and server, or maybe any kind of communication happens with the backend and server, how web works, web 2.0. So every web and server, for example, we can consider this communication as a in the our practical life as a restaurant. When we go to the restaurant, we we are the customers, so we can consider that we are the front end. Front end means the things which interacts with the end user. So we are the end user, so we are the front end. If we wanted to uh, our order prepares, chef prepare our order, we don't directly uh, give our order to chef. What we do, first of all, we call the waiter that we wanted to go order these many things, or order this particular things. Then we tell the waiter. Waiter will come. Waiter will go to the chef. Chef will prepare this. Chef will provide it to the waiter, and waiter will serve it to us. So in the same way, client and server communication works. In that scenario, client is a customer. So when customer wanted to request anything, so for example, if I wanted to request a pizza, I will say waiter that I wanted to have a pizza. It will go to the server. That means through the API, and server will respond on whatever the itinerary they have, or based on that they will respond. So this in that manner, the client and server communication works. while communication while communicating between client and server, there are many methods that we can communicate with the REST, we can communicate with socket, we can communicate with the GraphQL, but currently we are focusing only on the REST part. So REST is kind of a one part. Sorry, guys. One kind of protocol that we have to follow. So, for example, if we wanted to communicate with the server, we have to follow some kind of method. We have to see or order in particular terminology. So, what are the terminologies? So, first of all, we need to have the URL. What from which resource you wanted to get it, or you wanted to do any action on which resource. So first of all, you have to pass the URL. After that, you have to pass the HTTP methods. HTTP methods are kind of get. Do you wanted to get something? Post. Do you wanted to post something? Do you wanted to add something, or do you wanted to make any new request? Do you wanted to change your order? Do you wanted to update anything, or do you wanted to cancel or delete your order? So these kind of HTTP methods are there. Now coming to the status codes. Once we request anything, once we request that we wanted to get the pizza from particular person X chef, right? Now they will respond, right? So they will respond with two things: response body and the response status code. So these are the status code generally that starts with 200. 200 means okay, your order, you will get, this is your order, you can get it. 404 means it's not available. 500 means there are something like any kind of any kind of error, or maybe thing occur on the server side. So this kind of status codes are there, and endpoints are the things which we have discussed, and URLs. So these are the fundamentals, basic things we need to do. We need to do one API call. Uh, do anyone have this questions at this point? Is everything clear to all of you guys? Okay, so I I'm assuming that no one is having any question, or no one wants to
Yes.
communicate with me. Yeah. So in the programming, we have two types of programming. One is the asynchronous programming, and second is synchronous programming. Let's consider a practical example of the tech. Let's assume that this session is concluded. We have completed this webinar. Now, tech. tech guru have assigned me one thing that you have to get the feedback from all of the 10 students or of the 10 candidates. Now, there will be two approaches. What I can do, first of all, I can call candidate one, wait for their and say that can you give your feedback for our particular webinar? They will respond in 5 to 10 minutes. I will wait for them respond. Maybe, for example, they take 10 minutes. I will wait for that 10 minutes. After that, I will call the second candidate. I will wait for their response. I will call for the after getting the response. I will call the third candidate. So this kind of sequencing thing is called synchronous programming. So, for example, if one candidate takes 1 hour, I can be only call 8 candidates a day, which will be we can say that a disaster is for the tech guru, right? Do you agree, guys? So these are not sufficient methods.
Yes.
So these are the for some kind of thing that some dependency is there. For this kind of thing, this synchronous programming works. In synchronous programming, you can consider it as a sequential programming. That was after one sequence, second sequence is come. After second sequence, third sequence will come. Now in the asynchronous programming, what will happen? I will call the candidate one. I will whenever I will just acknowledge them that you have to submit the response. I will not wait for the response. What I will do, I will call the second candidate. Also, I will tell them that you have to. Can you just guys? Can you just share your feedback for this? I will not wait for the response. I will call the third candidate. So this kind of thing we can consider like as we can see here, it's a parallel thing. This that kind of thing we can achieve with the asynchronous programming, which makes the good amount of use in the time in also is a very good method. So generally, this kind of two methods are there to achieve asynchronous programming into the Dart. We have three keywords. First is the final, as a JavaScript developer knows the promise. What promise does? Promise is just a kind of as the word suggests that it's a promise that it will either be fulfilled. It can be either in three stages. Either is pending, either is fulfilled, or either is failed. There will be the three cases of that. So same thing here we have keyword final. Whenever the things like this that happen, that that thing will be delayed or computation complete with value or error. So this kind of thing will be mentioned with the keywords feature. Sorry, I have mispronounced that thing final. It's considered as a feature. After that, we have async and await. For example, if I wanted to perform anything, that if I have to get the data from particular server and show it to the particular list, so I have to wait for that particular API call to succeed, right? Succeed or maybe failure. So for that thing, I have to make this function asynchronous function. So make this function asynchronous, we use the async keyword. And why? And for particular any line of code or particular any line of statement, if we wanted to wait, for the result, we use the await keyword. Don't get confused. We will use this keywords very soon, so you will be get more clarity on this. But I am just giving you the brief of it, how it will work. So till this part, everyone is clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have
Clear.
any query or anything that they wanted
No,
to communicate?
it's clear.
Okay, good to know that. So I think we have covered the major of the part of like how async programming and the most the basic requirement or the prerequisite of for the calling the APIs, right? So let's start with how we call APIs, how we call APIs in the Flutter. So first of all, let me just showcase you the list of APIs we have. Which API we will be calling. Yeah, I am sharing my screen again. Let me just confirm that is my screen is perfectly visible or not.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Yes. So I would suggest that most of the easy method or easy API to call is the GET API. Another list is just or maybe searching or any filter, but most of the time get is the easiest API we can call, right? So we can start. So we will start our API calling with the get method. So in particularly, what we do as we work with the JavaScript or the JavaScript or TypeScript or Java, we generally create details of particular what we can say that particular. Just sorry, I'm like that word slipped off my mind. When we call when we call any get API, right? Maybe what we were saying that. Okay, so whenever we do, for example, Java or TypeScript or JavaScript, we generally create a DTO or the objects or maybe class for particular entity. So for example, we have entity called user, we create a class of it. So that class will be have that class having some attributes like username, user email, user password. There will be some entities like get user phone number, get user time zone. So this will be this kind of things we generally create in the create in every program. So same thing we generally while implementing anything or implementing any new thing, we generally create a model of it, model of particular that model of particular object or entity what we want, what we are building here. So let me just go through the APIs we have. So first of all, we have this get API. So as I have told you that when we wanted to call the REST APIs, we should have endpoint. Yes, we have that. We have HTTP method. Yes, we have that. Now we will initiate the request by sending by clicking on the send. When we will initiate the request, we are getting the status code here 200, and we are getting this object here. This is the response object. So let me just give you a brief of it. So see, we have ID cursor, nombre, content IDO, cost, duration, activo, is it active or not, URL of image of particular banner, or ID or language of it, right? So this kind of thing we have. So as we got the object of it, like what kind of thing we will have. Now we have to generate particular object for it. Right? Is it clear to everyone or not?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So what we will do, let me just share my screen. Currently, we have one application which we have bootstrapped for the UI purpose. As we do the UI live, it will take a long time. So we have created one basic example or a basic UI, basic application with the UI. API is not implemented there. That's why this loader is showing. So what we will do, we will create one model. So for creating a model, what we will do, generally main.dart file is entry point of any Dart application. So what we are doing, we are saying that this is our application. This is the title of the application. We have this theme. We have selected this theme, and the home page of that application will be the post list screen. As a JavaScript developer or a Java developer here, they know the concept of components in the front end, React or Angular. The same thing we have here is the widget. As in the React or Angular, we generate the tree of components. Here we generate the tree of widgets. So here post list screen is a widget. So and we have defined it here, and also we can see that we have imported here.
Yes.
No olvides suscribirte a nuestro canal y activar la campanita de notificaciones. Deja tu like y sé parte de la comunidad de Tech Gurus.